And I appreciate it. And we are officially, you know what, New Edition Radio would like to welcome Johnny Gill. Johnny Gill is home. What's up, JG?
Man, you know how we doing it, just hanging in there, working like crazy here, staying busy.
Of course, and Aaron is along for the ride as well on this edition. And I gotta tell you, like I didn't tell you when I talked to you yesterday, but been a fan of yours since way back when. You know what? Ever since I heard that joint with you and Stacy, that was it. That I mean, it goes deeper than that, but you know, I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate and appreciative to be able to you know, have dialogue with you. So I definitely appreciate the time you taking. So what's good? What's good in your world, JG?
Man, we just busy, just trying to keep it moving. You know, I mean, 30 years in, and we just keep doing what we do. You know, because this has been a blessing, and it's always it's a challenge. Obviously, it's always a lot. You know, it's not a bad challenge. It's a great challenge just to continue to keep staying. You know, it's a game that a business that we're in that we have to stay. That we try to continue to compete, and then you know the work that comes with it is a lot. But, you know, overall, it's a great thing. But you know, always rocking and rolling. I'm on one end of the country one day, and on the other side the next day.
That means you're working, so that's good. That's always good.
Yeah. I'm not bad at all.
Appreciates that.
No doubt. And you know what? Yeah. The Still Winning project, when you dropped that, of course I got, you know, a couple of CDs, one for my mom, one for me the first day out. And I feel like this, being a fan of your music, and I was saying this on a few NE radio shows, that you know, I love all the albums that you had, but this one to me it kind of completes that circle, that full circle. Like, you know, it has everything. So when you put that project out, to me is one of your best projects to date. So when you completed that project, did you feel like, you know what, this is something pretty good, something special?
You know, it took me a minute because I was working so hard on it, and it took me a minute to finally be able to sit back and listen and really see what, you know, exactly what I've done here. And I think overall, I mean, I knew I put my best foot forward and did, you know, make sure that, you know, the music that I put together, that it was every song had, you know, some level of a meaning, and it felt right to me. But I didn't really understand the, you know, when I just couldn't appreciate it until a little later on, after I'd kind of gotten everything up and running, because we had to go right straight into work and, you know, promoting and all that stuff right after I finished the album. But sitting back one day and just kind of like listening to it, and it just dawned on me. I mean, it hit me, and I'm just like, wow. You know, it was just like, hey, I can't get no better than this. It's just, you know, I feel like you know, what I set out to accomplish, I did, and I'm proud. I'm proud of what I've done.
I think it's a well-rounded album. I think it has something for everybody, and the cool thing about it, and especially with your music that, you know, you have and that you've made back in the day, you've always reached a demographic where, no matter how old you are, and no matter where you are in whatever country, whatever state, whatever city, people can be able to sing along with it, and it'll never die. Those are the kind of songs and the kind of music that, you know, people need nowadays, right? You need them sing-along joints, because, you know, you're having a bad day, or even if you in your car and can't sing like me, I still want to turn up and listen to a JG song that I could pretend like I'm trying to sing like Johnny Gill, but hey.
I tell you, it's just such a blessing. I just kind of like, you know, it's crazy. It's just, you know, when I'm picking songs and, you know, or writing these songs, it's like you just kind of go off of what you feel. And the one thing I've done, I always try to stay true to who I am, my art. And I can play and sing different music, different songs with different flavors, with different feels to it, but never lose the integrity of who I am and when I'm doing that, because I love listening or trying different things, different types of music, and being able to step outside of the box or go in a different direction. But I always try to make sure I maintain being Johnny and doing what I do and not losing that integrity.
Johnny Gill is our guest on New Edition Radio, and Aaron, I'm not going to monopolize your Q&A time with JG, so go ahead and toss that man a question too. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I could talk to Johnny Gill for a minute, so go ahead.
So can I? He knows that. He's like, oh my God, shut up. No. Basically, one of the questions that I've wanted to ask you for forever is that, and taking it back a little bit, out of all the songs that you've done in the past, and haven't been able, because I've already got mic too, you can't tell me nothing. Out of all the songs that you've done in the past and didn't do a video for, can you give me what songs you might have done in the past that you didn't do a video for but wished you would have, or maybe you still will?
Gosh. Well, one just recently, it would be You. I think that I really had this concept of what I wanted to do with that song, but it would be You, sort of, which I might do somewhere later on down the line. But it was really like kind of, at one point, because we were so tied up, I wanted to bring the guys in to audition as well, as like, and really, because that was one of those songs that you could have seen me. I already could envision what the choreography would have looked like and how smooth that would have been on something like that. But there's songs, the many songs that sometimes we do videos and sometimes we don't. So I never really get hung up or get caught up into whether I'm going to do a video for it, whether I'm not, which I know is sometimes a lot of times now, especially today, and with the technology, that it's important to always have a lot of different looks out because visuals really help, and that's something that even on this album that I'm lacking or a little behind in, and we're trying to catch up with that as well to try to do some more stuff as we release some more singles off this record to make sure we have the videos ready to go beforehand.
Right. Well, there's two songs that I totally wished you would have done videos for that I'm totally hoping and praying one day you will be able to serenade me to my face with. And one of them is Giving My All to You, and the other one is Maybe.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
OMG, those are my jams. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, what does it mean to you as far as them putting in a category and actually, nominating you for the Soul Train Award? And how are you going to feel when? I'm not going to say if, because there is no if. It's when you win.
Right.
I tell you, I don't know. I think overall to just be, first of all, being recognized by your peers. This is, the 16 years of coming off of not recording and to come back in this game and to be able to make music that is still being recognized by my peers. That's within itself is a major accomplishment to me, and I think that to win, that just would put the icing on the cake. I think when I look back and think about the last time that I won, one of my first major awards was the Soul Train Awards, and that was due to Don Cornelius. And I really think that to have the opportunity to win another Soul Train Award, and especially Don no longer being here, it would be special to me because simply it's not just for me, but accepting an award that on behalf of me, my fans, and the great one Don, who gave me an opportunity to have my first a major award. It's like coming full circle, it would mean a lot.
You said something about being away 16 years, coming back. Was that edge that you have for music, because it's always there, it never goes away, so that edge to come back and start working on the project, was that still as fierce as ever before? The reason why I asked that question, because you know the beautiful Karen White, she came back with a new project 20 some odd years removed from working on some things, and I remember she told me during the interview that she not only still love to do music, but this was a whole new different creative way of doing it now versus back in the day. So did you feel kind of like the same way after 16 years?
No, because, I've always been around the new technology and always up on the latest stuff.
Okay.
Because I'm a musician on top of everything else. So always been aware of, and even during the time that I wasn't recording, just knowing and having, an idea of what was going on around me. And so, I was always up to date with that. So for me, no, but what was more important and what was more different for me that I realized that after being off for 16 years is the way things are done as far as when you're going out now and promoting and all the other things that you have much more access to a lot of stuff with technology, with from the Facebooks to the Twitters to the just the internet itself, period. So it's like all this stuff that we used to have to do when we were back in the day, looking at it now and seeing how it's done now. It's like, wow, where was this back in the day? But
Right.
it's great. I embrace it. I think it's cool, and I think that it's just learning how to utilize it and get to maximize that. I think also it really helps and has helped with what we had to go. That I've had some challenges coming about in the box with this single, with the new record itself, and had to be able to learn and understand and know the game enough to know how to navigate and continue to make this album a success. Because I was, if you want to, put it all in perspective, it was like, after I finished up the album and realized what, some problems that we had ran into, I honestly, if I didn't take the reins and didn't do what I needed to do and understand and understood the business and knew what to do, I would have been dead in the water. I don't think that no one would have even, definitely would have gotten the chance to, or would have been aware of this album, the Still Winning album. But I never laid down, and I took the reins and did what needed to be done with this record.
You know what I learned? Being a fan of not just your music, but a lot of peers in the music business that make timeless music. I learned a lot about not just doing media, but to me, in order to help your success grow, especially now where you got to go grassroots and you got to literally start from scratch. Shake hands, kiss babies, the whole deal. It's like a lot of people will display their unconditional love for your project and your art form as far as what you do. So, the real true fans is really going to go hard and spread the word and, knock on doors and, go do it that way. Do you feel like, not just being independent and pushing out your project, but also reaching out to the fans more, you kind of see that evolve into something real special, right?
The greatest reward that I've gotten out of this project is, and it's after 16 years of coming back, is my Twitter family, my fans, to be able to, for the first time in my career, you get to talk directly to your fans, get to know what their likes and dislikes, to be able to be completely in control of being able to connect with them, to be able to talk to them, to let them know. There was a time when things would be said, it could be said and done, and you had no other way of being able to go direct to the source and being able to clear out or be able to talk and tell them the truth of what's going on. It's all the stuff that allows us to be able to interact with the fans, to be able to communicate with the fans, to go, hey, that's not true, that's not real, and it's like, there was a time we used to just have to sit back and just take the beating and be a victim of it. And then somebody says, a journalist says, I don't like him, I don't like his music, and I think it is, and he sucks, and he did this. And it's like, you have to sit back and just go, oh, wow, I gotta sue that. But at the end of the day, we get to talk to our fans, but being able to be in touch with them directly and being able to communicate with them causes us to really be able to go directly to the source. And that's been the sweetest thing and the most rewarding thing to me of my 30 years of being in this business, because our fans are the most important. I've had my days where I'm working so much that you get tired and sometimes you go, what's all this for? And I go and I look, some days when I can't, most of the time, like if I'm working and can't get to respond on my Twitter with my Twitter fam, I'm always looking at all the great things and the things that they're talking about and saying, and it really inspires me, and it really fuels me to keep going and doing what I'm doing. And who's been there from day one, that's like, just it makes me laugh. It's like they always got something crazy to say that'll make me look, and I'll start. Have me rolling over in tears. And it's like I can't. With the technology and having this, you can't. I can't even put a value on it. How important it is, and how great it is to just be able to know that you got fans there to go, we got your back over here.
Agreed.
You never feel like you're at a war zone or out there by yourself, and it's like it's been a blessing.
Right.
It's really been a blessing, and I enjoy it.
I can totally attest to, the social networking, because, and the fact that you came back and you're back now, you have always meant so much to me even before all this. But even now that it's like being on the other side of it, being, the person that's getting, your music and everything, being able to know that you're accessible to us and, I didn't like that line that he said in such and such, or I didn't like this beat or whatever. I can go straight to you and be like, Johnny, that was whack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Or I can say, oh my God, that was the best thing, since butter and jelly. So we like having that, being able to get to you as well. And, like I said, and I've told you this before, that even if when it comes to you, even if I had never, I feel like, it's such a blessing what's happened. I can't believe I'm me half the time. But it's like, even if I had never known of, your career or your musical talent or New Edition or anything like that, I would still be the biggest fan of yours as a human being and as a soul, because you are such a truly beautiful man to me. And I've even told, people on New Edition Radio, people that listen to us have already heard me say this, without you listening. But I just wanted to tell you that again, that I love you more than anything, and I'm so glad that you're back.
Oh,
putting it out there.
Wow.
Let me tell you something really quick. You know how we laugh about my mom. Everybody knows that too. It has nothing to do about her teeth, though. Real quick, I wanted to tell you, my mom had eye surgery a couple weeks ago, and she was sitting in front of. I told her I had taped your videos and the special that you and New Edition did. She literally had just had surgery on her eye, and she sat in front of the TV the entire time and was singing and did all this with one eye open. One eye, because she was like, there is no way I'm missing this.
Wow, that's so great. I see, those are stories that I tell you that just because you're working so hard, sometimes you don't realize until you get to your fans to know how much they appreciate what you've been doing and the work that I put in, because I take pride in what I do. I go from every concert, I'm at sound check. There's no day I take off and go, let me just get there. And when I get there and get ready to go and perform, it's like everything that it takes to do what we do, tired or not, I got to go in there and make sure the sound is balanced, make sure things are right, so people are getting a chance to come to see the best that you can see and hear Johnny. And I don't take it lightly, so it's like I work, and I work hard, and it's like, that's why I feel grateful that when you hear people talk about they appreciate what I've done, what you're doing, it's like, it makes it all well worth it.
Let me ask you a question. Your son, for those of anybody under a rock that doesn't know that you have a little boy, would you promote, if he grew up and wanted to do the same thing, would you promote that, or would you be against him going in the business?
I would like to see him do something different, but whatever my son wants to do, he would, especially at certain age, at certain point in his life, he's his own individual man, so you have to be there to support. I can't make him or would like to force him to do what I would want him to do. I want him to do what he has a passion in life to do.
Right. Does he out-sing you yet?
No,
Hey Johnny, you know what you just said really brings it home, because I have a 10-year-old daughter, and she's real heavy in the drama classes and gymnastics and stuff like that, but she loves the acting classes and stuff like that. So my thing was, when we had Mr. Eric Braden on not too long ago, he plays Victor Newman, Young and the Restless, etc., etc. He was telling me that only like a small percentage of people really earn a living off of what they love to do. So I agree with what you're saying. Whatever they want to do and it's in their heart to do it, then you can't stop them. You just want to support them in everything that they want to do. That's really the main important thing when it comes to it.
Absolutely.
Yep. You can also follow Johnny Gill at Real Johnny Gill on Twitter, and also, the presidential debate is not the only vote that you can cast. You can also make sure you go to the website that we have, and onto the link to go ahead and vote for Johnny Gill's Still Winning album, which is available now if you go to iTunes and spots for sale. Like, if you already bought one or two already, buy a couple of more. Holidays are coming too, people, so you got to make sure you go ahead and support my man on his music journey as he continues to still win for the fans and the people out there listening. And before we close with this portion of the interview, for the listeners out there that will continue to vote on your behalf, what do you want to tell the NE congregation out there and the JG fans?
Mafia.
That's right. What do you want to tell the listeners out there that's listening?
I'm JG's Mafia Queen.
Yeah.
Well, I just to say thank you, and to know that, like I said, after 16 years, I remember recording this album, and when I first started it, and I'm not a big fan of being in the studio. It's never been, I've never had a real true love for that. I like performing live, so it's like to go in the studio and put the kind of time that I put in. I sit after 30 years now being in this business. The one thing that I've been nominated for Grammys, but never had one, and I said my goal was set to go out and to be able to, to get and bring the hardware home. We're one step now closer to doing so. We're in 3 categories on the first ballot of the Grammy committee. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed, because obviously the members of the Academy has to vote to move to the next step. And I'm hoping and praying that we can continue to move forward, but getting one step closer to our goal, because I listened to and watched a dear friend of mine, Cheryl Levert, who we've always talked about, some of the things that we've been able to accomplish. And one of the things that I know you wanted just as much as we all do, because the Grammys is like our Oscars. It's like the Oscars to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you're a musician, that's the highest form of a level of recognition you can get. And to me, to watch and see how hard Johnny worked, and many years later, after he was no longer here, he then received his Grammy. And I said, I never want that to be me, and I want to be able to get and achieve my goal to be here to see that. And I hope and pray that when people listen, the Grammy committee, the people on there listen to this album, that they will feel that it is the hard work that we put in here, that it's worthy. And we'll see as we move through the future what happens. But that and the Soul Train Awards and whatever the other accolades, it's not because it moves the needle one way or the other to make me feel like that. You have to stick your chest out to go, look at what I've done. It's with an ego. It's just to say that when your peers, when the industry embraces your work or what you do, you
right.
begin to understand, and it makes you appreciate. It makes you feel that you appreciate it, that with your hard work that you put in, and those try to represent and carry myself and do and stay and do great music, that it has and can be acknowledged, and that there is still a place and a room for it and space for it. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm truly keeping my fingers crossed. I know everyone can definitely vote on the for the Soul Train Awards,
Mm-hmm.
but also I know the Grammy committee is only the voters, the members can vote. So I'm hoping that they would definitely pick and listen to the album and take that in consideration as we move forward. So
absolutely.
Thanks
And before Erin says her goodbyes, I got to tell you that it's not only an honor and a privilege, but also, again, like I've said before, I've been a fan of your work, and it's, like I said, music always reigns supreme, especially when it's done where so many people like myself can be able to listen to you for 20 plus years, 25 plus years, and still capture the same kind of emotion or the vibe that we had when we first heard your first album to your current album, and still be able to have that. So again, I truly appreciate the work that you put in and the work that you continue to do. And trust me when I say there's millions of people, different countries, cities, states, all over the globe that feels the same way I feel. So I'm glad you can be able to bring it here to any radio and still winning. Perfect.
Never stopped.
Yes. Wow. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you and the support that you guys have given me, and I am
Nexxlegacy.